think this movie is underrated. Oh, I mean Superman Returns, not this trash. Unless it's a fan film like Superman Solo, it's difficult to overlook a whole Superman film, let alone a cringeworthy one. A Superman fan apparently used crowdfunding to fund a non-profit 29-minute movie with supposedly $50,000 budget. Regardless, the film is poorly made, and its chances were hampered further by the writer's personal scandals that appeared online. Many Superman fans are still intrigued by the plot and controversies of Superman Solo, so here I am watching and reviewing. So let's get into it. Even by fan film standards, Superman Solo is a dud. Despite the fact that the fan films are widely regarded as a wonderful platforms for young filmmakers to showcase their talents and to share joy, the film contains the bulk of amateur filmmaking problems, most notable the terrible lighting. Despite this, the film does a decent job of leveraging Superman to deliver a positive message. However, writer and director Andrew List let the fact that no superhero could express their political ideas get ahead of them, so let's dive into the controversy. Although the film's creator has been linked to strong right-wing and racist views, despite this, the film contains no outly objectable themes. The movie does not show or encourage racist or homophobic viewpoints, while screenshots of one of the creator's letterbox account shows his supporting of the QAnon-endorsed Save Our Children conspiracy theory. Even more disturbing is the different image supposedly showcasing the film's writer-director, which contains extremely obscene language. To be clear, the movie does not reveal the identity of the person wearing the KKK mask. Additional photographs in the thread appear to show a number of people dressed in Klan attire attending the Superman Solo premiere. The film has since been removed from Letterboxd, though it's unclear whether this has anything to do with the content creators' diverse political views. Fans have nicknamed Superman Solo the next film in the racist cinematic universe, or the RCU, following Superman Lotus. God, I'm gonna have to review Superman Lotus now. Anyway, what about the movie itself? In the 29-minute fan film Superman Solo, Clark Kent, Superman, struggles to find work like any other person while saving lives. Regardless of his personal issues, the superhero saves lives with ease, whether it's racing to stop a tornado or failing a robbery. I must admit the sequence when he saves the tornado while watching TV is actually quite ingenious. He does it in seconds, and I just think it's a pretty powerful moment, to be fair, in the film. One of the only bright spots, I must admit. His mother advises him to preserve and that others will eventually comprehend and hear him. However, as he is revealed to Lois during a conversation, the media does not view him kindly. "I am my own man," Superman says in response to the reporter, asserting that politicians will use him to achieve their sinister purposes. Despite his failure to find work, Superman continues to save lives. His most critical assignment is to save a teenager who is going to leap off a tower. Rather than just saving him, Superman decides to chat with him and encourage him to change his mind and not give up on life. In order to establish a connection, Superman discloses his own identity to the youngster throughout the conversation and goes on to describe his own difficulties. The major conflict of the film is based on the page from Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman, in which Superman saves a suicidal child called Reagan off a rooftop. The adaptation swings quickly and somehow becomes anticlimactic, but the absurd conversation between Superman and the youngster who saves the affair with a performance eventually has its own sadness. After persuading the child not to end his life, he shakes the hands of Superman and the boy introduces himself as Matt. Clark Kent goes for a job interview after saving Matt, and Lois becomes the new boss. He is hired by Lois as a reporter, and she goes on to declare that, despite his previous seemingly greater accomplishments, saving the suicidal child is Superman's greatest triumph. The rest of Superman's life is shown in a sequence of flashbacks, beginning with the first time he bled while fighting a formidable adversary, and concluding with his adoptive parents pushing him to accept his powers. The film concludes on a light-hearted note, with Superman and Matt becoming friends and eating a pizza. Then, after the credits, we see Superman possibly facing off against Batman and another larger menace to the Earth. It's clear that everyone involved is giving it their all. However, despite everyone's best efforts, there is a huge difference in quality from scene to scene. For example, in the conclusion, Clark meets Lois Lane to accept a position at the Daily Planet. Lois Lane suffers significantly as a result of the site choice, and the reserved Clark appears to be upsetting her simply by being in a confined hallway. A man who looks exactly like Jason Statham makes an extended cameo as Lex Luthor, who actually subsequently played the baby in the original Superman film, taking the character down a new path. I wish there'd been a bit more of him. Furthermore, the green screen is executed admirably. However, Superman Solo's weakness is clear relationship relationship with Man of Steel, Zack Snyder's picture is both a saint and a sinner in this rendition, with constantly outstanding visual cues at odds with the plot that pushes towards the fix-it mindset. When it's questionable platitudes placed into the language of supporting characters, the script is repeating Twitter arguments that border on theodicy. Two new readers debate if an unstoppable human is more courageous than soldiers in the scenes reminiscent of Batman v Superman. When Lois Lane is endearingly tough, asks Superman whether he is a dictator, he is strangely appeased when he effectively says yes. Look, I'll offer a lot of leeway for an indie film. Although it's officially a fan film rather than a legitimate independent production, the concept is the same. It's a low-budget film produced outside of the film business. When I say the movie is truly a disaster piece, I don't intend to imply the visual effects aren't amazing. The acting is dreadful, especially from Clark Kent. There is minimal personality, charisma, or emotion, because there are so many great performers looking for jobs.
Jesus Christ, what's going on?
The quality of performance here is not on par with even community theatre. The camera work is subpar, again not in the sense of cheap camera, but in the way that it reveals a lack of filmmaking knowledge. What is the objective of shot framing? Where is the sense of the coherence in the shot? How do they progress the plot? Furthermore, the writing is flat and predictable. There is no humour, nuance, or fascinating method to communicate information. A fan film does not have to be terrible, it's merely an indie film with limited commercial success. It is not in this case. The movie is truly awful. Acting, sound mixing, lighting, and cinematography are all overlooked as important aspects of a film. This movie is not redeemable in the least. The lead actor is one of the worst I've ever seen.
Mom, I'm not sure how these are making me look any smarter.
He appears to be reading from a cue card the entire time.
Well, better get changed the line review.
Dull and inspiring. If anything, I've probably been kind to this train wreck. I'm not even sure popping an edible before this Disasterpiece would help, but I suppose it can't help the viewing experience. Well, that's enough rambling for one day.